I've been wanting to do this for so long and I am nervous. From the title, you can tell that this is a Booktube newbie tag, and I just want to give full discretion that my baby girl is in here, so you might hear some baby coos during this video, but it wouldn't be right if she wasn't here. Just a little bit about me. I started a business last July. So yeah, I started a small business around that time, but before that, in 2022, November of 2022, I gave birth to a beautiful baby girl, and with that I had really bad postpartum anxiety, and at the time I didn't know what I was going through. I just knew I couldn't sleep. I had to watch my baby 24/7, no matter really who she was with other than my husband. It got to the point where I was just not sleeping. Like, my baby would be nursing on me and I wouldn't be able to sleep. You're not supposed to sleep while they're nursing anyways, but Bear was laying down in her crib. I wasn't able to sleep, and it was just a lot of anxiety. All things considered, I read so much during my early postpartum because simply I couldn't sleep and I was anxious. Like, anxious to the extent of I had to read and be in the same room as my baby all the time. You might be asking, how was I able to read? And honestly, I just use Libby on my phone, which is a library app. Like, I don't have a Kindle or anything, and I would read paperbacks if I could. Yeah, I would just read all the time, y'all. Within that first postpartum year, my baby's first year of life, I read nearly 30 books. And I know that might not seem like a lot to some people, but I think, I know for a fact, I hadn't even read 30 books in my whole entire life beyond, before that year. So it was a ton to me. Like, wow, I read 30 books. Like, typically I was one of those people whose New Year's resolution or New Year's goal was to read at least one book. And more times than not, I never even read one book of just like a book by choice. It was almost always like a school book that I was required to read, and I halfway read those. Like, it just never happened. So for me, reading 30 books was a huge accomplishment. Mama? Yes. Yeah, so 30 books was a huge accomplishment, and that just, oh, I'm lying. So I actually did read some, like 5th grade. I remember reading all the time, but it still wasn't as much as I read during postpartum. Like, I read about 3 books, I think, in 5th grade, like consecutively. And I'll get into just that whole series a little bit later. My love for reading even sparked just an interest in making bookmarks. Like, I knew that I wanted to work with my hands because I was a florist before. And whenever maternity leave was up, I knew that I didn't want to go back to work full time. Like, yeah, nah. I wanted to stay with my girl, and now I know like postpartum anxiety. Like, I didn't want anyone to watch her, like, other than my husband. And my husband works full time, so he wasn't able to stay home with my baby. So I had to make something happen. So I started a Bookish small business, and I sell bookmarks and accessories, and to say the least, it's been thriving. So I never would have thought that reading would take me to the place or put me in a position to be able to start something that I've always wanted to start, which is, like something that I could support my family on while also being able to work with my hands and having just the freedom to be able to be at home with my girl. Like, that is an earring, baby. I did want to share that my bookmark started off with being just like polymer clay made, coated with resin, but we went on a different route and started doing more of a beaded type bookmark, and they're hook bookmarks, so they're unique. They're not the classic bookmarks you'll get from like Barnes or half price books. Like, these are unique, they're different, and I feel like that's why, hey baby, I feel like that's why they're doing so well. Let's get into this Booktube newbie tag. I've been talking too much. So the first question is, why did you start this channel? I started this channel because honestly, I always wanted to like have a YouTube channel. I just hadn't built up the confidence and the courage to do so. But it got to the point where I was just like, just do it. Like, I knew that it was something I needed to do. I was called to do it. And honestly, like I really do enjoy creating content. Long form content is just, it's really fun to make. You can be artistic with it. And yeah, so I wanted to get on Booktube because I still am an avid reader. Like, I love to read. It is now February and I think I'm working on my 4th book, which again, probably isn't a lot to some of you very, very avid readers, but to me, it is very big. Reading is something that I cherish. It is something that I'm able to do in my free time. It allows me to just feel like I have ownership over my time. It's just so freeing. And it also has like a little bit of escapism for me. So just knowing like I can be in like a different world, or like looking in on a thriller or a romance, like it's just so fun for me, and truthfully something that I enjoy. And I definitely want my subscribers to see me talking about, discussing, and sharing things I enjoy. It only makes sense because I have a bookish business. So people, they always ask me what I'm reading, if I have any reading recs. So yeah, it was just, everything just started to line up and be in place for me to join Booktube, so I'm here. Next question is, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube? So because I'm a small business owner, I can bring some of the behind the scenes of being a bookish small business. I feel like that'll be something fun for Booktube participants, or Booktube, what do we call ourselves? I feel like that's something fun for like booktubers. If you're just like a watcher, you are considered a booktuber, right? Because all this time I've always said that I was like a booktuber, like I would watch booktubers. I don't know, what do we call ourselves? Leave it in the comments because girl, I don't know. Anyways, I feel like it'd be really fun for people to see just like the behind the scenes of a bookish small business, and also for me to incorporate, you know, like what I'm reading. And because I am a Black woman, I'm a Black reader, I would love to just share like my voice on reading and books. It's something that I truthfully enjoy, and I know me personally, I love to hear from other Black women just sharing their stories, or they're sharing their experiences about books that they've read and how much they like them or why they didn't like them. Like I just love hearing their thoughts among other people, and yeah, I just love hearing diverse voices, and I feel like other people seek after that as well. Third question is, what are you most excited for about this new channel? I am most excited to just, you know, be a part of this community, to no longer be one of the people just like commenting on other booktubers videos, but actually like being engulfed in it, securely in place. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm just so excited to just get in it. Oh, I can't even explain how excited I am. Community is something that's really important for me, and because I live out of state from my family, and a lot of my friends, they just up and leave where I'm at currently, which I understand because I want to leave here too. It's just like a temporary place, this city. But you know, like a lot of my friends, they just move quite often. So sometimes I just feel like lonely to a certain extent. Like I read, I have my family that I can FaceTime, my friends that I can FaceTime, but yeah. Say all that because I know that Booktube is a community. I've seen how much booktubers support one another, and just the friendships that can be gained through Booktube, and even like Bookstagram and things like that. And it's something that I have been able to just find community through, like even outside of just Booktube, period. Like yesterday I went to the library with my baby girl, and I met this girl, and we basically like hit it off because she had 2 babies. I only have 1, but she is a reader too. So, and I feel like if you meet someone who's also a reader, you just automatically have something to talk about, and you kind of get a glimpse of who they are and what their personality is like, depending on what books they read. So it just automatically felt like I had a new friend, and with Booktube, I get the sense that it'll be kind of like the same with this community. So I'm glad to be a part of it. Fourth question is, why do you love reading? I love reading because, like I said earlier, it's almost kind of like escapism to a certain extent. Like, I'm still fully aware of where I am, but I have a very, very, very vivid imagination. And whenever I first started reading as a child, I would read like fantasy books, and in my brain it was just like a movie. Like, it was better than a movie, and it's still like that today. I pick up a book and I'm seeing words on the page, put it back. I need a new book. But if I'm reading the book and I'm seeing just graphics, like, oh, like I just love the visuals that I see in my mind, like my imagination, and how descriptive authors can be with just different scenes and everything. Like, I love painting a picture in my mind. So yeah, that's why I love reading. Next question, what book or series got you into reading? I don't know which one came first. It was either Gregor the Overlander or Fablehaven. And Gregor the Overlander is written by Suzanne Collins, I think. And then Fablehaven is written by Brandon Wool. I feel like those two books were the start of me just having a very, very, very vivid imagination. Like, my imagination is insane, like I was just talking about, and I feel like it has a lot to do with those two series, which really got me into reading. I was never a Harry Potter girl. I wasn't allowed to read them. I even tried to sneak and read them in like 5th grade, and I just couldn't. I just knew that I was doing something wrong, so I was like, put it back. But I still read like high fantasy, like just Fablehaven and Gregor the Overlander. So yeah. Next question is, what questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? So my favorite booktubers right now are Shaughnessy and then Alexandria Hurley. I just love seeing them vlog together. They are hilarious. It just feels like I'm with best friends. They're just so cool. What questions would I ask them? I don't even know. I guess I would ask them what motivates them to continue to put out new content. And I would ask Shaughnessy like how she stays like on track with uploading so many videos. Like, I truly do admire just like her dedication, her devotion, and her discipline towards uploading videos. Like, this girl is committed, and I truly admire that. So yeah, I would ask her just like if she has a calendar or a certain type of schedule, and what just like motivates her to keep going. Because I feel like I have that desire, but sometimes I almost need like an accountability partner to be like, hey, like, you said that you're gonna do X, Y, and Z. Like, I'm here to hold you accountable and to let you know that you can do it. So that's what I would ask Shaughnessy. And as far as Alex just became a reader not long ago. So I would ask her how she's enjoying being on Booktube now. Like, if it's truly like the community that she thought that she would get from Booktube. She's just so sweet, and I love her personality. So I definitely would like to see or like to know her thoughts on that. Next question is, what challenges do you think starting a Booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? I feel like me feeling like I need to read certain books. I've never really been big on reading only popular books. Like, I like to read books that I know are going to be 5-star reads. Guilty of it. I don't want to waste my time reading a book that's going to be 2 stars. Like, so that might be a big challenge, like feeling like I need to read certain books just because they're popular or trendy. I'm saying this right now. I'm not gonna force myself to read anything that's super trendy. If I want to read it, I'll read it. If I don't want to read it, I won't read it. Another challenge I think that I'll have to overcome is finding a good balance between incorporating like Booktube content and also incorporating my small business content. Like, I really want everything to just mesh together well, and I feel like they will, so we'll see. Next question is, when did you start reading? I feel like I started reading at a very young age. I remember my my dad specifically reading me, what are they called? Like the nursery rhymes, but not really nursery rhymes. The book had like a gold trim on it, and I just absolutely loved it. It was, what are they called? They're like bedtime stories, and they're very descriptive, but they're also like childlike. I think I want to say that it was Grimm's fairy tales, but I feel like I could be wrong. And then we also had like an African storybook that we would read as well. And it was just super cool. But when did I start reading personally? I feel like I really dove in headfirst on just reading, I think in 5th grade. Like that is a prominent memory, just like me reading in 5th grade, me wanting to go to the library, me wanting to get books. And even though I was interested in these books and I wanted to read them, I feel like I wouldn't devote the time to reading. Like it wasn't something that I picked over, let's say, volleyball, playing outside, watching TV with my family. Like it wasn't ever anything that I was like, no, I can't do this or that because I'm reading. But yeah, 5th grade was when I started reading. So next question is, where do you read? So honestly, I really don't have as much time to read anymore. Like I used to read a lot whenever Nora was asleep. So I would read wherever she was sleeping at, whether that be like in her nursery or if she was in the living room, like we'll just bring out her bassinet and I'll be on the couch. I'll be in the bed. It just really depended on, you know, where she fell asleep or where she was at the time. But now, where do I read? I mostly read at the bar in our kitchen whenever I'm eating breakfast and drinking my coffee, or I'll read in my baby girl's nursery whenever I have to be up in the middle of the night nursing her. I still try to read. I try not to be scrolling on my phone or anything. I'll just pick up my Libby app and just read on my phone. Next question is, what kind of books do you like to read? I am a mood reader 100%. I was just talking to, you know, like my new book friend that I met yesterday at the library about how I don't have a favorite genre. I'm still trying to get a good idea of what books I love to read. Like I haven't had any type of genre that's like, I have to read this exact same genre again and again and again. It's always been like, all right, I'm in a mood for a romance. All right, I'm in a mood for fantasy. I'm in the mood for thriller. So I feel like that's just me being a mood reader. Wouldn't y'all say that I'm more of a mood reader just based off of what I just said? I think I'm a mood reader. So the final question is, what does your book collection look like? My book collection, it used to look really, really nice, but I had to move my bookcase. It was like a kind of a bookcase. It wasn't anything like super like bookish, but it was just, you know, I have my plates there and I have my books there and everything. But because I have a 1-year-old now, she literally will get into anything. So I had to put those books up. But I have like a little bitty area of just like books on this shelf that's like a floating, like a hanging shelf. So I guess that's kind of like what my books look like now. And then I also have a lot of my books under my TV stand. So there's just like cabinetry there that we locked, and I have a lot of my books there, and it's dirty. Y'all not looking at that. Y'all not looking at that, but I'll show you a clip of my hanging area. And then we also have books that are more like our Bibles and just like Christian like books. They're in our room, and I can show y'all a picture of those too. Nora girl has a whole bunch of books. Like we did this thing at my baby shower, or at our baby shower, that was like, instead of a card, bring a book and write your card, like your card, whatever you write in the card, write that in the book. So she has a ton of books, like so many books. I should just show y'all her books because it's way more books than I have. All right, y'all, so that was it with the questions for the Booktube newbie tag. It was so fun to create this video. I've honestly been watching so many Booktube newbie tag videos, and I was like, I just need to do it. And I didn't know when the right time would be to make a video. And honestly, today wasn't even technically like the right time. Like I have so much stuff to do for like my small business. I even have a pop-up today. So it's just like, I just did it on a whim, and I'm so glad that I did it because I feel so good, and I'm excited to just join this Booktube community, and I hope that this video is received well. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again. Bye.